Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here, and welcome back to The Fragrance Well. So we're going to talk about underrated fragrances today. Now, usually when a reviewer talks about underrated fragrances, they're talking about fragrances that they think are amazing that everybody else isn't necessarily talking about. I'm going to take a slightly different approach today. I've got a lot of fragrances in my cabinet. There's no way I can wear them all. Some stuff is naturally going to get neglected. But I'm going to talk about some today that I honestly wish I did wear more, but for a variety of reasons, I just either forget to wear them, I forget they exist, or I just don't see them in my cabinet. Maybe it has something to do with where I place them in my cabinet, but these are my own personal underrated fragrances. In other words, out of all the fragrances I got, this is stuff that I should be giving more attention to. So I've got 8 of them to feature for this subject matter today. So let's go ahead and get it started. But before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please hit that bell icon and enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, first one's coming from the house of Xerjoff. We've got Uden Overdose. Xerjoff Uden Overdose. Special shout out to this fragrance because it is the one that made me think of this subject matter. This was one of my scents of the days during the past week. I love this fragrance. This is actually my first Xerjoff fragrance. This one's basically kind of an ambery fragrance with a focus on tobacco flower, a little bit of a coffee accord, very nice, bright and spicy ginger in this scent. Great stuff here. I think the reason I have, for lack of a better word, neglected this fragrance is because it was my first Xerjoff, and I've acquired many other Xerjoffs as well as a ton of other fragrances since I got this. You kind of naturally have this thought of, okay, I got some new stuff. I got to wear the new stuff. Let me put the old stuff on the back burner for a bit. Sometimes you remember to return to that older stuff, and sometimes you just don't. That's kind of been the case with this one. Now, I've gotten plenty of wears out of this, so it's not like I don't wear it. And again, I pulled it out this past week because I was like, yo, I'm neglecting that fragrance. I need to wear that one again. But this is one that honestly, let's just say I did not have a really large collection and I wasn't adding as many fragrances as often as I am. This one would definitely get more wear. Once again, from the house of Xerjoff, this is Uden Overdose. All right, next one's coming from the house of Amouage. This is Portrayal Man. Amouage Portrayal Man. So this one, just think of a very violet leaf or violet flower. Is it violet flower or violet leaf? It might be both. Just say violet focused fragrance with a really deep juniper and cade oil base and some vetiver. Very simple scent, but also very rich in terms of what it has to offer. Kind of related to Fahrenheit, but just less of a focus on the spices and on the other elements. Just the violet leaf, not really leathery either. A couple of reasons I think I've neglected this scent. Number one, it is very particular. And once I kind of get used to a scent that really focuses in on one thing, I kind of have to be in the mood for that one thing to go for it very frequently. And also because, at least for right now, since we're in the summer months, I don't really consider this one I would want to reach for a lot in the summer, maybe more of a spring and fall time scent. And matter of fact, let me just go ahead and say it for all of these fragrances. All of these are previous purchases. None of these are new at all in my collection. So naturally, they're gonna get neglected a little bit just because there's newer stuff for me to wear, and I have to wear this new stuff in order to feature it in these videos. Once again, from the house of Amouage, this is Portrayal Man. Next up, coming from the house of Roja Parfums, we have got Danger Parfum. Roja Parfums Danger Parfum pour Homme, that is. I do believe there's a Parfum, if I'm not mistaken. This one here, lemon and lavender and this accord of spicy woodiness is the best way I like to describe this fragrance. This is my first Roja fragrance. I have had this for, maybe 2 years now. I've had this for a long time. So again, one I've had for a long time. But also, I do think this one has some versatility, but at the same time, it feels like it's such a dressed up fragrance. I don't really want to wear this casually a lot. I just don't think it would fit unless I'm just like, screw it, I'm just gonna spray it. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason why this one does not get more wear overall. This is definitely one of those ones where it's like, Even if I didn't have as many in my collection, I still might not necessarily always go for this. It would be under a specific circumstance. That being said, it's a great fragrance. I absolutely love this stuff. I do actually think this is one of the more underrated Roja fragrances in my opinion overall. Once again, from the house of Roja Parfums, this is Danger Parfum pour Homme. Next one's coming from the house of Mancera. This is Hindu Kush. Mancera Hindu Kush. So this one here is woody, it is spicy, it is a little bit tart, very strong note of black currant in here, so it has a little bit of a fruitiness to it, a little bit smoky as well. Actually, it's quite smoky, but not like overwhelmingly smoky. A little bit green. Cannabis is kind of providing more of a green facet to this fragrance. And this is another one where I don't really have a reason as to why I don't reach for this more. Initially, when I first discovered this scent, it was just one I didn't really know what to do with, but I've kind of realized that actually you can kind of wear this to whatever just about. It doesn't really smell like cannabis outright, so you're not gonna smell like you just smoked or anything, but I really do like how balanced this scent is. I love that smoky woodiness and green facet it has, a little bit of a freshness with it as well. I would wear this in the summertime, so seasonality is not an issue. For whatever reason, I just kind of forget that I have this, and if I'm being honest, I guess I kind of do all of my Manceras like that. I don't really reach for them a ton. And I don't really have a reason as to why, because most of the Manceras I have, I think are great fragrances. But it is what it is. Once again, from the house of Mancera, this is Hindu Kush. Next one is coming from the house of Tower Perfumes. This is Fai Une Rose de Kandahar. Tower Fai Une Rose de Kandahar. Couple of reasons why I haven't worn this. Mainly because it's a very particular scent. It is a rose and patchouli centered fragrance. Kind of has a little bit of a similarity to Ombre Nuit, but much darker, much earthier. Does have a little bit of spice in here. Really nice note of apricot that unfortunately fades away pretty quick with this scent. I really like the way this stuff smells. Part of the reason I know I haven't worn this is because one, I just kind of forget where it is. Number two, it's really not in a good place on my cabinet. It's kind of towards the bottom because I do things alphabetically, so it's easy to miss, unfortunately. And also, this is one of those ones I would actually prefer to wear when it's a little bit cooler out. I have some rose patchouli centered fragrances that I would wear in the heat. This is not necessarily one of them. That being said, it's a great scent, but you know, I just don't give it as much wear as I think I should. Once again, from the house of Tower Perfumes, it's Fai Une Rose de Kandahar. Next one's coming from the house of Tom Ford. We've got Noir Extreme. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. So, if you know this scent, kind of has that infamous Coffee Accord, but it's a combination of florals, a little bit of rose, saffron, and spice, and sweetness, and woods, kind of held as this really awesome date night scent, which I do agree. And why I haven't worn it more, I don't really have a reason for it either. It's just one that I just haven't reached for. I can't really give a reason. While I do think it is a great date night fragrance, I would wear this for many other things. Seasonality is not really an issue. I do think this fragrance has enough lightness to where I would wear it, say on a warm summer evening, so I don't think it's only going to be a good fall time fragrance. I would wear this for regular daily stuff. Doesn't have to be date night. And I have done that before, but I just haven't done it a lot. And it's one that I am definitely neglecting. I need to put in the rotation more. Another reason may also be because I really did want to pick up the Parfum. I haven't done it yet. And I probably should go ahead and do it, but maybe that was a reason why. Just subconsciously, it's like I think I want that one and I'm just gonna hold off on wearing this one until I get that one. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, just kind of one of those things. But I don't really know why I haven't worn this more, but it is what it is. Once again, from the house of Tom Ford, this is Noir Extreme. Next up, from the house of Maison Margiela, we have got Jazz Club. Maison Margiela Jazz Club. Why haven't I worn this one? Same thing. I don't really have a reason as to why. I just haven't reached for it. Could also be a situation where, you know, it's just in a cabinet, in the cabinet in an area where I don't look a lot. But I mean, I really do like this scent. Has a little bit of a leatheriness and a smokiness to it. It's almost like the smoke is seeped into the leather in a jazz club. Certainly has booziness to it. It is rather sweet as well. A little bit of a spiciness. One of the most popular, if not the most popular from the replica line. I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon unless they just come out with something outstandingly good. Now I do play drums sometimes in a jazz club here, and I have worn this once or twice, but I don't wanna wear it every single time I play there. But yeah, this is just a scent I have just neglected for no other reason than I just keep reaching for other stuff, and it's not because I think this is inferior to those fragrances. Once again, from the house of Maison Margiela, this is Jazz Club. Last but not least, coming from the house of Rokas, this is Moustache Eau de Parfum. Rokas Moustache Eau de Parfum. So I'm sure if you're familiar with the scent, you know it's basically trying to be a carbon copy, if we're being honest, of YSL's Tuxedo. And that being said, I do think this smells really, really good. Kind of patchouli centered, a little bit of a woody base, some spice, some sweetness, really elegant, gentlemanly scent, great for an evening out or a night out or even a date night, but also can be worn during the day. I think it is maybe more centered towards the fall and stuff like that, but it's not so heavy that you can't wear it in warmer weather. And why haven't I worn this? Same thing, I got this really early on in my collection, and so I've just simply put it off just to make way for other things, for newer fragrance acquisitions. This was acquired, I think, within the first 3 months of me collecting. So naturally, it's gonna be one that has just kind of been forgotten about, but I still think it is a great scent. And subconsciously also, I plan to buy the actual YSL Tuxedo. So maybe I've just put this off as a result as well, but I can't say that for sure. It's just a fact. Once again, from the house of Rokas, this is Moustache Eau de Parfum. Alright guys, that is gonna do it for this video. That was my personal underrated fragrances for myself. Let me know down in the comments below, do you have any fragrances in your collection that you know you would wear more if you didn't have more fragrances, and for whatever reason you just continue to neglect it and you don't really have a big reason as to why? Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. So thank you again for watching all the way until the end. I really do appreciate you guys. Please remember to be well and smell well. And I'll see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.